Hello everybody, Yannick Chauvin here again for part 3 of our portrait makeover tutorial. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, I invite you to click on the links that are listed on top of the video here, and you can view those. And we're going to be doing in part 3 digital makeup in Photoshop. Now here's a photo of Emmanuel, who is one of my assistants and also a great model. And we did that shoot quite a while back, and we had lots of fun doing it. And here's a picture of her, and as you can see, she's not wearing a lot of makeup. I think she had a bit of foundation on and just a tad of shininess on her eyeshadow thing. But apart from that, not wearing much at all. So let's see what we can do. Now, this is not a glamour type of makeup that I'm going to be putting on, because I shoot mostly lifestyle, business, and spa, which is more of a natural look. But you can apply the same techniques and get a glamour look as well by just choosing different colors or putting more of the opacity in, and etc. So let's start with eyeshadows. Now, again, remember, this is Photoshop, so there are a million ways of doing the same thing. I'm just going to show you one of them here. And if you have any other ways of doing it, please, please, please post it in the comments below so that the readers can enjoy and learn. All right. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is duplicating our layer. Now on the Mac it's Command, and I won't mention Command again, but I'm on a PC, so every time I say Control and you're on a Mac, think Command. So Control J for a duplicate layer, and we're going to hide the top layer now and select the bottom layer, and we're going to be playing with the color balance. Now there are two ways of doing this. We're going to start with color balance, and I'll show you another way after. And I want more of a natural, earthy, golden-y type of eyeshadow. So I'm going to put some yellow in there and some red in the midtones, maybe in the shadows as well. Maybe give it more depth, a little bit more yellow, a little bit more red before and after. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay. Now I'm going to click on my top layer, make sure that the eye is back on to select it. And it's now hiding the bottom layer. Now all you have to do after that, let me zoom in, select your eraser brush, make sure you have a nice sized brush, and make sure that your hardness is at 0. We want a really nice soft brush, just like a makeup brush. Now going in here, we just want to erase the top layer to get our color that we selected underneath. And there you go. It's that simple. You can't go wrong with that. Now, let's look at a general view. Alrighty. Now we can give this some contour and more depth by burning a little bit. We won't need to dodge here, but you could have dodged as well. Now selecting your burn tool, make sure you have a nice soft brush once again. And your exposure should be at around between 15 and 20%. And then just start selecting the right layer, which is our colored layer, and just burning in here a little bit. Same thing on the other side, and that's it. Looking at a general view, before and after. I like that. Looking good. Alright, now let's move on to the blush. Now what we want to do is get a natural color here for her cheek. Now the best way to do that is just to take your eyedropper, selecting a part of her skin tone where there's already some nice rosiness to, and then clicking on the color palette and then just bringing it darker. Of course you can always go down and say, well, that's a little too orange, I'll put a bit more red, and you can bring it down a little bit. Say, alright. Now you want a big brush for this. Make sure that your hardness is at 0 again. We want a nice soft brush, just like the blush brush that you would find in a makeup kit. And bring that brush size up pretty big. And then just blush in where you want the rosy cheeks to be. Now on the other side I need to reduce it a little bit, or else I'll have some on the nose. There you go. Now she looks a bit like a clown right now, but don't worry about it. What we need to do now is simply reduce that layer's opacity and bring it way down to between 10 and 20%. So looking here, I'm at 16. That looks good. Now before and after. It's a very subtle difference, but it brings out more of her vitality. A bit like you've been outside for a while and you're coming back in and you have the rosy cheeks. That's what it gives her. So that's how you do blush. Now for the last part of this tutorial, what we'll be looking at is lipstick. Now we can do it the way that we did before, using a duplicate layer and then using the color balance tool and then erasing on top. But I'll just show you a different way here, just so that you have a bit of variety. Now I flatten all the layers down just to go through this exercise. And what we'll be doing is we'll be duplicating our layer, Control J. And what we'll be doing now, going on the bottom layer here, we're going to select a levels layer. And the levels layer appears. Click OK. Hide the top layer so that we can see what we're going to be doing on our levels layer. Double click on it again on the graph here, and then it comes up. Now the first thing we want to do, since her lips are extremely pale, is to darken those lips up. Now I could use a burn tool, which I'll do after. I'll show you that after. But this time we're just going to darken it by moving the black slider here towards the middle point. And that's looking good here. We can always go play in the colors as well. If we go into the red and we boost the red up, it will give it a bit of a glow. Now if we go the other way, it adds cyan. We don't want that, so we want some red here. We can always go into the blue. Now the opposite of blue, the complement of blue is yellow. So if we want a more of a earthy skin tone lipstick, we might go and put some yellow in, which is not the case here. So I'll make sure that my slider's back in the middle, not a 1. And let's look at before and after. I think that's going to be good. Now selecting our top layer again and making sure that it is visible using the eraser brush. I'm just going to erase that. The lips. And if we look at a before and after, we see that she has more health to her lips now. Now I'll show you the dodge and burn way. Here we go. We'll duplicate our layer again, and using the burn tool at around 20% exposure and a soft brush, we're just going to go into the lip and get some color in there. I'm a bit lazy, so I won't shrink my brush here just for the purpose of this tutorial for the corner there. But let me just get that in. Now what burn does, it would also keep the natural color of the lips, which is something that I always want to have when I'm doing natural looking makeup. Now going back, before and after, just with a simple burn. It's that simple. Now if you want to put more contour to this image, all you need to do, shrink the brush a little bit, and then just burn the top and the bottom part of the lip. Just a bit more. Before and after. And there we go. This is the end of our makeup video tutorial. And if we go before and after, you can see the difference that we did before and after. I think it's an improvement. If you think so too, then this tutorial was a success. And again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.